Superman still lost money theatrically, despite strong performance in Warner Bros. Q3 earnings. So yeah, when it comes to Warner Bros. Movies this year, they had a great track record. They've actually been doing really well financially with a lot of their different movies. The Conjuring Last Rites did really good, and movies like Sinners, that did quite well. But Superman, there seems to be this kind of understanding that Superman made a lot of money at the box office, and it was super successful. Financially, it wasn't successful and it didn't make money, but people seem to think that it did. But let's find out why. Let's jump in, let's break this down, and let's have a bit of a discussion about what's happened with Superman in the larger grand scheme of the Warner Brothers fiscal year here. Okay, we're going to skip this first bit, because it's not really relevant to what we're talking about. So let's just go down here. Superman did help the quarter, but the film's individual profitability tells a different story. Okay, so this is where we get into Superman here. So Superman didn't recoup its costs in theaters. Insider information indicates Superman cost closer to $350 million to make, far above the $225 million production figure that surfaced in the trades. Once you add in global marketing, the all-in cost climbed to $475 to $525 million range. So Superman finished its global run with $615.9 million, which, when you think about it, considering the state of the DCEU when it was ending, the last 5 or 6 movies all failed to make over $400 million. The precarious state that DC was in with those last few movies in the DCEU was really, really bad. It completely lost the trust, the faith of the audience. People just abandoned it. And they knew going into this new Superman reboot, this new DC universe, they knew that they would struggle with this first movie or the first set of movies. I mean, you have to win back the audience, win back the trust. Then the box office revenue will come after you put out a few good movies and you've earned back that customer base. So they absolutely knew that. Okay, $615.9 million is really respectable, like I say, because of the state of the DCEU. Million worldwide box office. Based on the standard industry estimates, Warner Bros. Retained roughly $320 to $335 million after the theaters took their share of the tickets. That figure didn't cover the real cost. So, in simple terms, Superman lost money theatrically. That lines up with what our insider first reported and matches the conclusion from the recent Forbes breakdown. Yeah, so there is this kind of misunderstanding that a lot of people on social media seem to think that James Gunn's Superman did make a lot of money and it was really successful. I mean, it was successful when it comes to critics and the audiences. The audiences enjoyed it. I thought it was an okay movie. I didn't think it was great or fantastic, but I thought it was okay. It was enough. It was good enough to get me interested in subsequent films. I'm interested to go into Supergirl. I'm interested to see Lanterns on HBO. And I'm definitely interested in the body horror that they're coming out with in the Clayface movie. That's got me more interested than anything. But yeah, so it got me interested to continue on this DC reboot. But when it comes to the financials, it didn't make any money. Okay, let's keep going here. So, why Warner Bros. Earnings still look strong? Warner Bros. Financials don't contradict the theatrical loss because the studio doesn't report film-level profit. The Q3 results combine everything the studio earned during the period, including high-margin horror hits, licensing, F1 carryover, digital sales, and library distribution. Studio EBITDA, which basically is the studio's profit before taxes and certain expenses, more than doubled year over year. A tentpole like Superman can show a theatrical loss, while the overall quarterly profit still climbs, thanks to better performance across the slate. Superman boosted revenue and contributed to the quarter, even though the theatrical run didn't cover its cost. So basically, what they're saying is that Q3 was successful because they had loads of other movies that were successful, even though Superman wasn't. That's basically what they're trying to say, in a roundabout way. Why theatrical profit still matters? Theatrical profit still matters for a movie like Superman because theaters set the tone for everything that comes after. A clean profit in cinemas creates momentum, boosts confidence in the brand, raises merchandising value, and supports bigger budgets for sequels. Man, they cannot continue to have bigger budgets on these movies because they have to make ridiculous amounts. On Supergirl's going to cost $200 million. It's going to need to make $650, $700 million just to break even, which is ridiculous. The budgets are too big. When a tentpole loses money theatrically, the studio must rely on digital sales, streaming, and international TV deals to close the gap, which takes longer and doesn't carry the same impact. So, even though we're saying when it comes to theatrical, Superman didn't cover its costs theatrically, when it comes to streaming, licensing deals, merchandising, when it comes to DVDs, Blu-rays, all that kind of stuff, it could have recouped its money in that direction. I don't know how much money it's made from the ancillary market, but when it comes to theatrical, it didn't cover its cost. But it could do well on the secondary market. So we'll have to wait and see if it in fact becomes profitable through that. A strong theatrical run also signals that fans are on board with the direction of the franchise when the first film in the new slate comes in below expectations and puts more pressure on whatever comes next. Absolutely. I mean, Supergirl, I have no idea how much money Supergirl is going to make. Is it going to make around about the same, 600, 650 million, somewhere around that range? Is it going to come out and do half because people don't care about Supergirl? Do people care more about Supergirl? I mean, I honestly just don't know. Did Superman encourage people to go and watch Supergirl when it comes out, or did they deter people because people didn't like Superman? I really don't know how this movie is going to perform, but it's going to be very interesting, and it's going to give us a big kind of indication as to people's interest in the new DCU going forward. So, what this means for the DCU. Superman wasn't a bomb, but it wasn't a clean hit either. It performed well enough to lift the quarter when paired with cheaper profitable movies, but the theatrical shortfall adds pressure to the next DCU entries. Supergirl arrives in 2026, followed by Gunn's Man of Tomorrow in 2027. Both films will face tight scrutiny now that Superman failed to turn a theatrical profit. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing, isn't it? If I had to guess, I think Supergirl is going to make less money than Superman. I mean, Supergirl was in no way as popular as Clark Kent Superman. She's just not on the same level of popularity. So I would have to assume that her movie isn't going to make as much money unless the first trailer comes out and it's unbelievable, like one of the best comic book movie trailers we've ever seen. Then it could end up doing incredible. But yeah, part of me just thinks that her movie's just not going to make the same amount of money. So she may end up losing money as well. We'll have to see how that turns out. But there we go, guys. So there's a bit about Warner Brothers and Superman, the kind of larger picture about what's going on over at the company. Even though they had a great quarterly 3 earnings, cool, they did quite well with a lot of their movies. Superman, unfortunately, didn't cover its costs theatrically, although it's doing pretty well on streaming and things like that. It still didn't cover its costs in cinema, but they probably knew that this was going to happen. Like I said at the beginning of the video, because of the track record of the old DCEU, and basically it just plowed DC into the ground and lost the audience's trust. But they can start earning it back. They can start earning that profit back, and we can live in a happy world once again when it comes to DC fandom. But there we go, guys. So what do you think about that? Jump into the comment section, leave your thoughts, your comments, your opinions. Did you like Superman? What did you think about it? Do you think it should have made more money? 615 million. Is that a good box office in your opinion? Is it a bad box office? Whatever you think, guys, about this news, let me know down below, like I say, in the comment section. And with all that down, guys, thanks so much for being here, and I will see you in the next video.